Hello, everyone. Glad to see people on here already. Go ahead and get started. I'm doing this. Got a little timer going here. We're going to take about 3 minutes to get before we actually launch into the main topic, so we can give people a chance to get logged on. Some of you are here early, which is awesome. But for the other people, they see the notification pop up. So, Bill, you were here early. Thanks for joining, and hello to you and your wife Sheila. Hope you're staying safe wherever you're at. Greg, hello. I can promise you that wherever you and Val are exactly right now, it is definitely warmer than it is up here in Wyoming and Montana. David, thanks for joining. I'm going to be answering your question during the live chat tonight. Deborah, hello. Glad to see you made it. Brenda, hello. Yeah, let's see. So we got the countdown going. A couple quick notes while we're waiting for people to get logged on. Like the rest of you, probably, the internet is occasionally sluggish and unreliable up here in Wyoming right now. It can be good most of the time, but then like randomly just, you know, slows down. So hopefully everything goes good there. Stays solid. If it starts buffering, um, bear with me. Oops, hold on. I gotta slow down something else here. We'll get some feedback going. All right, so if it does start slowing down, I have three different networks I can use here, so I'll try and hop over to a different network. Um, and yeah, as Deborah said, she mentioned I'm trying out some new software, and I actually have new software and hardware I'm using this video. So hopefully that all goes smoothly. I've been testing it, and everything went good in the testing. I think I have all the kinks worked out, but it's always a possibility of hiccups there. But it lets me do some cool stuff that I could not do before. I may also have to be adjusting the lighting as we go because the sun is just setting here. Um, but yeah, that's look at all these people logging on. We got Kat and Candy, Lauren, hello, and let's see, got the Egg and I, Ron J, Hippie, Merce, from Louisiana, yeah, and Tom, yeah. So thanks everyone for logging on. Um, we'll give it just a few more seconds here, and then we'll jump into some what's going on. I have not done a live chat in like several months, and I did not intend to postpone them this long. But I was camped for a while in Nevada and in Arizona, where I had an adequate cell signal to work, but it wasn't the greatest for streaming, and I wasn't sure how well that would go. So I was kind of paused for that, and I wanted to upgrade to some software, which I'm actually running now. I was looking at a few different options there, and so I'm pleased with so far. I think I'm pleased with how it's going on. Well, tonight will be the real true live test. Thanks, Lauren. Lauren says the quality's great so far, so thanks. Oh, my father made an appearance on here. Hello. Thanks for joining. They're from way out on the East Coast. They're hunkering down, trying to stay safe out there. And so, yeah, let's see. So, Deborah says, let's see. Like Deborah said, let's hit the thumbs up button and subscribe if you're not already. If you're new to the channel, it's basically all travel related content here. Um, so that's um, I try and put stuff up a couple times a week at least, include from some weeks I do a podcast on Monday or Tuesday, and then resuming the live streams on Tuesday evenings. And I try and get some travel content in there. That's a little challenging these days, as you all can imagine. So, all right, so we're kicking off though, and the first thing I wanted to give an update on where I'm at on everything, and that is just talk about hunkering down, which is something everybody's pretty much in the same boat on, unless you're working in a job that requires you to, be out in the front lines. And my hats off to you if that's the case. That's a hairy proposition these days. Um, I actually did a trip to upstate New York not long ago with my daughter earlier this month, and two granddaughters, and we left Wyoming right before the whole coronavirus mess blew up, and the thing was like worsening as we were traveling, as we ended up cutting the trip a little bit short to get back, just out of concern for how things were gonna go. Um, let's see, so. So I did get to visit with family. I'm trying to keep up my notes here and look at the camera at the same time. We got to visit with family, some of whom we had not seen in several years, which was really great. I also got to check out do a quick tour around the southern part of the county. Southern Washington County, where we're at, is a very rural and agricultural area, and they also happen to have 4 historic covered bridges, which are really cool. And I was able to um, uh, go run around and get some photos of those. They're going to be in the upcoming issue of Meanderings Magazine, which I'm looking forward to sharing. That's going to be out this week, or this month rather, sometime. I was aiming for the first, and it's a little bit slow thanks to all the travel and all the other excitement going on. But so those will be in there, all 4 of them. So I was able to run around and do those thanks to my brother and thanks to my sister and brother-in-law loaning me a vehicle for a couple days. So I had a chance to get around a bit and do that. Um, we had fun though on the trip. We basically drove straight through. I think we did like 30 hours going out and 32 or 33 coming back. We made one stop each direction for the girls for entertainment, and other than that, we just we pretty much went straight through. While we were there, I did get to my brother and sister-in-law have a farm in Cambridge, New York, Homestead Farm, and one of the things they do there is maple syrup. And my brother actually invited me to and my daughter and granddaughters to go along while he was boiling sap at a friend's farm, which was really awesome. I did a video about that recently that hasn't got a ton of views yet, but everybody seems to really be um, liking it. So if you haven't checked that out already, you may want to do that. That's a fun video. So while we were there, we did like I said, we just pretty much straight through going out. We stopped on the way out. We stopped at the Omaha Zoo with the girls. That was a really fun time. So it was that was we all enjoyed that. If you've not been there, it's worth stopping. If you're ever in the area, they do a really nice, clean facilities, and it seems like they take really good care of the animals, and has a great reputation. And apparently, for a reason. On the way back, we made one stop. We actually went to Niagara Falls, and we got there right about. It pretty much was after dark, but there's they have lights there to light it up, and that was really fun. It was the girls' first time being there, and so they enjoyed getting to see that, and I enjoyed going with them. Used to go there years ago. We were traveling back and forth, and there we go. And we had this photo from the kids' Christmas during a Christmas trip, like in 1999, I think it was. So they're all grown up now, and I'm old now. So, um, but we got back anyways. We got back to Gillette literally the same day the governor ordered all non-essential businesses closed, and I seriously thought about going down to Nevada for a month. That was my original plan, was to go back down to Nevada where I'd been camped. But with everything going on, I decided that might not be the best plan. I decided not to travel, but instead to hunker down near family here, despite the occasional cold weather. So most parts since I've been back, our weather has been pretty decent. Oops, got an extra thing on there. There we go. It's been pretty decent. Actually, I've been to the park a few times, walking around the lake there. You may have seen I did a little video about that with that, and we got this photo of this blackbird taking off from the cattails there, and that was kind of fun. They're fast. They're hard to capture. Anyway, we got some crazy weather coming this week, so it's in the 50s, which is pretty good. And if you can see here, like by Thursday, we got a low of 1 degree overnight is the forecast. Every time I check the forecast, it gets worse. So that's going to be exciting. I'm going to be going into town tomorrow, or to the store tomorrow, to get stock up on groceries and propane, so I don't freeze to death. This has been cold. So let me check up here on everybody's talking about. Well, because I have one of the challenges of being a one-man band here. I'm trying to focus on talking and on notes and on running controls and everything else. So let's see here. See what's going on. So, Tom's down in Pahrump. Awesome. I was going to go back down. That's where I was actually heading. That's where that photo of the van was at. Was just outside of Pahrump, and I was going back down, and just things were so crazy. But I'll talk about more about that later. But I decided to stay put. So let's see. Oh, my mother's on here tonight too. So welcome. Thanks for joining. Let's see. And Bill, yes. Sorry you missed the start there. I did give you and your wife a shout out. So, oh gosh, let's hippie Merce here. So ER nurse in Louisiana. Gosh, that is you guys are dealing with a lot of stuff down there right now. And it says, please encourage everyone to stay home and take this seriously. Absolutely. We're going to talk a little bit more about that in the section on staying safe. Yeah, I'm staying put for the same reason. So let's see. Right, or boondock and stay away from other people. That was had I gone back to Nevada, my plan was to be stocked up on supplies and only stop for fuel along the way and use it to pay at the pump anyway. So I figured my risk of exposure was very low, and my risk of exposing anyone else was very low, and then I would have been boondocking well away from anybody else as soon as I got there. So oh, Blanche, congratulations on getting a van. Hopefully things settle down sooner than later and everybody can kind of get back to more or less life as normal. Um, oh, my friend Doug is on here. Hello, Doug. Doug's been going through some real challenges down there in Arizona, so hope you're continuing to see some progress, Doug. Oh, Lauren, that must be the maple syrup video you talked about. It was actually a really fun video. It's the one that I'm in terms of my recent videos, it's the one I like the best in terms of what I put out, and so that was a lot of fun. I do put up some on there on Patreon for that were share with patrons. I put stuff on there that is I'm not going to put out on the general public for everybody on the World Wide Web. So I had some on from like with the kids and stuff. The kids had a ball at the farm collecting eggs and helping with sap and everything. So they had a great time. So I put some of that stuff with the kids on Patreon. And I also sort of live blog the trip. Almost every day I posted updates with photos from where we're at and what was going on. So you can join me there for a little over $1 a month. And it's just a little more of a private, intimate environment or community. So I put extra stuff on there. So oh yeah, Deborah's mentioning it's so cool I can share these photos during the live. That this is what I wanted to upgrade to, and there were a few different packages and software packages, and one I tried I couldn't get to work with my MacBook, and so I ended up going a different route on it. But so far I'm really happy with what I'm able to do. And I'll show you this. There's also cool things I can adjust like the camera settings and everything in real time while everything's in motion in temperature and tint and all that stuff, as well as share stuff like this. So that's I like being able to share a little more stuff. Hopefully, makes it a little more interactive and a better experience for all of you who are tuning in. So that's kind of what this is really all about. And yeah, Lauren's saying I should know you can share pics during a live. If you're just using the app on your phone, which works great, and it's a great way to get started with live streams. That does not support doing it. And if you're using the webcam and the Chrome browser, they allow you to live stream to YouTube right from there. You can't do it there either. So you have to use dedicated live streaming software, and then so that's what I finally switched over to, so I could do some other things here. There's a lot of other stuff I can share in here is used with this software as well. So I won't be doing all of it tonight. So anybody can figure. Yeah, thanks. It took me a little bit to settle on the package to use and everything. Just I have a lot of other stuff going on, so it's kind of like I got to figure that out. So. Oh, Bill and Sheila say they're holding up outside of Pahrump as well. That's not a bad place to be right now. The weather looks really nice from what I've been seeing. I just was, just decided I'd be better off staying because I was going to stay for like April and then come back anyway. So decided to. Oh, Noreen's joining us here. Welcome, Noreen. So let's see. So my mother's saying that Massachusetts is shut down till May 4th. Yeah, Mackenzie's hoping you can make it out too. I've been concerned about that. Hopefully things are settling down by then. Okay, Doug, good to hear you. Things are you making some progress there? So, all right. Oh, I didn't quite finish my points on my notes on hunkering down. Bottom line, yeah, I'm hunkering down to reduce my risk of exposure and also to reduce my risk of spreading virus. I don't want this thing, but the only thing I can think of that would be worse than me contracting this thing would be knowing that I spread it to somebody else and they got sick or worse as a result of it. So I just decided to stay where I'm at. If I was already in Nevada, I just would have stayed there until things settled down. But I just decided that it really wasn't necessary for me to make that trip, even though it would be better weather and more comfortable situation in the short term. Uh, and so, yeah, I definitely recommend. We had a nurse there in Louisiana saying the same thing, but I definitely recommend everyone stay in one place and self isolate as much as possible. I know it's a challenge if you're not at a home base and you're out traveling and this thing all blew up and you got to figure out how to manage that. But as much as possible, I think it's a good idea for all of us to self isolate. And I want to throw one more thing out there: video suggestions. This is a travel channel. I try and put out travel videos every week, and I can't really travel very much right now, like every other travel vlogger or blogger or whatever, content creator, Instagram, whatever. So if there's things you'd like to see during this for videos during this season when we're all kind of restricted, I can't travel, and you all, many of you presumably have more time to watch videos right now than normally because we're all kind of isolating, unless we're a nurse or a police officer or something like that on the front lines or some other essential worker. So let me know either here or you can shoot me an email uh, or whatever, and we can I'll try and maybe work off some of those ideas, but that way I know something people actually want to see rather than me trying to guess what people might want to watch while I'm kind of stuck. Because obviously you signed up for travel stuff. And we had a comment too here from let's see. There we go. I'll find it. Sarah had mentioned, let's ask everyone where they have been camping and staying right now. I'd like to see solutions because there's so many people talking about how nomads have nowhere to stay because of park closures and such. Yeah, that's a huge issue, and I'm probably fortunate in some ways. Either I'm a little bit chafing at being stuck sitting still. That at least I'm somewhere where I can stay, so I'm not stuck like a long ways from home or where I know anybody or anything. So that's good. But if any of you do know places you can stay right now, you're having success with them, feel free to throw them in the comments here. It may help others who are trying to figure out where they can park because so many places are closed. And I've heard story after story of people who had reservations somewhere and they can't get in now, or they were at an RV park or campground and they came through and told them they were closing it. So that's kind of a challenge. So if, feel free to share that if you're up to it and you want to help out others who are looking for places to get to. I will mention too, my friend Deborah is working on a list of resources for nomads right now because of the things going on. So I'm sure she'll have that available soon. And Campendium has been maintaining an updated list of specifically of places that are open and closed. That may be helpful as well. All right, let's check the comments again here, see how far behind I am. uh, Tom says he worked in Gillette and Powder River for a year and energy construction. Yeah, the weather's, I mean, it's been so nice. I'm actually having to open up the windows and stuff and run a fan sometimes because it's like 60 degrees and the sun shining on the van. So it's really nice. And then now we're talking about like a high in the 20s and a low of 1. So that's Gillette, well, Wyoming, but definitely in this area, it'll swing. And you think spring's here and you're done to get a relapse into winter. So, um, let's see. Oh, Bill, there we go. Bill saying just come talk to us live. I'm thinking I may do a few more lives during right now, and so I appreciate that feedback, Bill. Um, because yeah, I'm hoping that, and I'll get into this a little more in my next section on staying safe, which was based on a question from David online. But I'm hoping that sooner than later I'm able to get out, at least even regionally, do some traveling and see some places. But yeah, for right now, it's just the best scenery we got in Gillette is the Dalby Park where I showed you in that recent video. So I can't keep. I mean, you don't want to keep seeing more videos of that. So Tom's mentioned Thermopolis is nice. I went through there once last spring, first time ever, when I first got this van, and it was muddy enough that I was having trouble finding a place to camp, so I didn't get to stay as long as I'd wanted. So I definitely want to get back over there. There's some cool stuff there. Um, so Lauren's seconding Bill's idea. So maybe we'll do that. Um, and that might be an option there. So let's see. Okay, and Bill saying RV parks in Nevada are still open. So that is good to know. And Beth at Midnight Run Kennel is saying, it likes the idea of more lives too. So maybe that's something we could do, and that'll give me a chance to refine my skills with this new software and everything. So Okay, and Deborah just posted a link there if you all want to check that out. If anybody's looking for uh, 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 information on where you can go, she's posted the Campandium link. So, and Noreen's getting chilly there in North Carolina, man. It must be the same weather, boys. It's it's only a couple days. I'll just stock up on fuel and I'll be all right. But it's a little depressing. I will not be out for too many walks during that. So, um, okay, the Egg and I just moved to an escapees co-op after spending 3 weeks on BLM. Um, oh, that's good to know that's open then. So, okay. Beth's in a hunkered down in 60-degree North Dakota until it goes to 20s this week. Yeah, I lived and worked for a year in eastern Montana in Sydney, right across from Williston, and my gosh, the weather up there in the winter. So the weather up there, period, is crazy. You guys who have never been up there, it can be 100 degrees for weeks in the summer, and then in the winter you can have like 30 and 40 below highs, and the wind blows like all the time. So there's some tough weather up there. I shouldn't complain because at least I'm sheltered in town. The wind won't be too bad. And oh, Noreen's saying they closed Teton Pass. That I'm not surprised. That gets. I've been over there a time or two. That can get challenging. So and oh, Sarah, hello. We had your comment about. You left on YouTube I had that up there a few minutes ago, so actually we'll pop it back up for you. So oops, if I can find it again. I got too many overlay things here, so there we go. Had your comment up here, so people are sharing some spots that are open now. So, um, oh, I miss Shield. Oh, there we go. Okay, Bill saying yeah, I'm better than TV anyway, so I do try. So that's a compliment. Thank you. All right, so let's see here. There we go. We got a question. I had a question from David on I think that was on YouTube, and David asked. Let's see here. We'll pop this up here. I gotta. Here he is. Okay, David asks, what are you personally doing to stay safe during these trying times? They've extended social distancing in Ohio through the end of April. What will you do if this continues to be for several more months? So yeah, this is a challenge for a lot of people, and um, on one hand, I'm lucky to be in Wyoming. It's the least populated U.S. state and very rural, which is kind of an advantage because the cities are getting hit really, really hard because people are just in closer proximity. So it's easier to spread this. And we also have a limited number of confirmed cases, but the numbers, of course, are higher than what they're reporting because we, like everywhere else, we have a lot of testing limitations. They just don't have enough tests to go around. On the other hand, cases continue to increase here, like everywhere else, basically. And Wyoming residents have not been good about social distancing and staying at home. There was a report I saw last week, and they had some company using cell phone data through social media was able to track how much people were moving and not. And Wyoming was the only state in the country to get an F. So people aren't behaving very good. And the governor here has threatened to issue a stay-at-home order and enforce it if people don't start behaving. So hopefully we don't have to come to that. But anyway, I'll give you a quick update on what things are like here. Then I'll tell you what I'm doing to stay safe here. So there we go. Here's a quick map. The coronavirus cases. I'm in Campbell County, which is in the northeast corner. As you can see, that's not that bad. Just kind of a line diagonally across the state, and Teton, Fremont, Natrona, and Laramie counties, and that's where most of the cases have been so far. So we just got, as of today, got our second confirmed case here in Campbell County. Casper Star Tribune today was reporting that we've eclipsed 100 coronavirus cases, so that's kind of unfortunate. It became the last state to confirm its 100th case of coronavirus Tuesday morning when health officials announced 13 new positive tests. We now have 109, which is the fewest in the country, but it's 12th. The 12 other states that have lower per capita cases. So We do have a order prohibiting gatherings of more than 10 people here, and we also have an order ordering all non-essential businesses closed from the governor and the health director here. What we do not have so far is a travel advisory. So, okay, let's. Oh, I'm missing stuff over here. Let me hold on. We gotta do this. Okay, Johnette with super chat. Thank you. Appreciate that. That is awesome. And just also, John Ed also said we're all soldiers in a war with unseen enemies. Yeah, we definitely have a role to play. And if everybody follows these guidelines, they're annoying, they're hugely interruptive. But if we all try and do our part, then we can get this thing under control sooner. And and the bottom, you guys have all seen this. They're talking about they're trying to limit deaths to 100 to 200,000 rather than 2 million. I mean that's horrifying. And bottom line is even if I survive this thing, if 2 million people lose their lives, I'm going to know some of those people, and I don't want to see that come about. So I'm trying to do my part, and hopefully everyone else will be doing their part as well. And we'll see Steven's on here, my friend Steven, New Normatic. Hello, how are you, Steven? Hope you're finding somewhere safe to hunker down. Let's see. Oh, Brenda's saying they have 7 deaths in Kentucky today. This thing is just mind-boggling. And right, yeah, farmers are still working, and we still need food, and grocery store workers. So that the whole supply. I don't envy anybody that's on the front lines of this, in whatever capacity. So Deborah liked the soundtrack there. That was that was one of the fun things I got to add was that. So I'm glad it actually worked. So okay, where are we at here? I just Oh yeah, so far no travel ban in Wyoming, which I'm grateful for. But they are limiting non-essential businesses and larger gatherings. So people try to comply with that. But yeah, meanwhile, I am grateful that I'm stuck in a place that has lower risk of infection, just because of the sheer fewer people and fewer cases so far. Of course, that could change, but so far I'm grateful for that. And I still, because we don't have a travel ban, I still have more freedom to move about as a nomad than in many areas. But I'm also exercising self-discipline to not abuse that freedom. So it's like we don't have to worry. We can go to the grocery store and not worry about any kind of interference or anything like that. And we are still able to use public parks to get some exercise. Although again, not everybody obeys the no groups and staying away from people. So, Doug's noting the homeless population in Arizona is specifically exempted from the new rules. I'm glad they did that. I know I follow homeless services. I used to volunteer in that sector, and so I know that's been a big concern for them with people who just don't have a place to go. Noreen says she decided not to listen to any news update. That's probably that's not a bad idea. Oh well, hold on. We got just Deborah Van Sant made a secret contribution, so thank you for that. And let's see. Deborah saying we lost one of our state reps yesterday. Detroit is a scary place. I live a long way away, but I'm near the capital. Yeah, I saw that, Deborah. That's it's been. I mean, I think we all know this can affect anybody, but it's been a little bit at the same time a little bit shocking in the last few days. Some of the celebrities and high profile people that we've seen, and it kind of drives home that nobody is immune to this thing, whether you're young or old. And I know initially there was some thought that if you're, you only have to worry about if you're over 60 or whatever. It's hitting everybody in all socioeconomic and cultural levels. So it's something that's hitting all of us, and hopefully we just got to hope and pray that they're able to get it under control sooner than later. Let's see. Okay, so David's question specifically. Let me get this back up here. Now that I told you what's going on here, where I'm at, because it kind of forms, an underpinning there. What am I doing to stay safe in the middle of all this mess? So first of all, I'm staying in one place rather than traveling, even though it's not an ideal location. I mean, I do have 3 kids here and some grandkids here, so that's good. But I got Nevada plates on the vans. It's a little more challenging, boondocking and things like that. But I am staying in one place, and but it's not ideal. The weather and there's no camping ordinance in the city, so I kind of have to keep a low profile. And it's just there are some challenges there. I'm self isolating as much as practical. Um, I spend most of my time alone to in the van to reduce my risk of exposure or spread. When I go do get some exercise, I walk around the lake at the park, and I stay away from people. Don't get near people. So I don't talk to people. So we're not exchanging any aerosols or airborne droplets or anything like that. Um, Truth be told, I do that a lot anyway, so it's not like it's a new thing for me. Cause for work, just camping in nature and working and stuff, I don't have a ton. I don't. I got a little bit less than, but I do a lot of self. I do a lot of self isolating, anyways. There, I got it out that time. Um, Next, I'm also limiting trips to the store for supplies, trying to stock more days of food than normal. I used to usually carry 3 or 4 days of fresh food. I'm trying to push that towards a week, and that's a little. I just have a cooler. I don't have a refrigerator, and that's a little bit easier with the cooler weather we're having here than what I was used to in Nevada. So stuff lasts a little longer. The ice lasts longer. I try to go as infrequently as possible, but we still are dealing. It's getting slowly getting better, but we're still dealing with a lot of stuff not being in the stores and empty shelves. So you go in and there's nothing there, and you still end up having to go back, which is not good for anybody. Um, Limiting family contact and outdoor recreation, and when I do engage in any outdoor recreation or see family, we're practicing safe distancing and hand sanitizing before and after. um, Also making an effort to try and eat as healthy as possible with the food I'm able to actually find, and maintain some exercise as much as possible, vitamin C, and basically just trying to limit exposure as much as possible. So that's kind of what I'm doing to try and stay safe. Let me check up on the comments again here. Sarah's saying she's trying her best to stay away from people. Yeah, and that's really, the bottom line of this, that since we have it's a new virus, nobody has herd immunity. There's no vaccine. There's no cure. They can't give you a pill or a shot to fix it. That's really the best all any of us could do to protect ourselves and to keep it from getting worse. And I just saw in the news, I didn't grab the link, but I saw in the news just yesterday or the day before about Washington State, some choir that had a practice, got like 60 people together for practice when it was in the early days of the outbreak there, and like 40 some of them ended up with coronavirus, and nobody had symptoms at the time, and so 3/4 ended up sick, and two of them, I think it was, actually died from it. So that's we just gotta isolate as much as possible. Bill's mentioned hearts go out to everyone dealing with this. I agree. That's uh, my thoughts and prayers to anybody that's affected by this, and more so than just being inconvenienced, and who's on the front lines trying to still provide services for groceries and gas and those kind of things. So um, here we go. My mother's a retired RN, and saying she's grateful she's retired, but the governor of New York sent her a letter trying to get her to come back to New York City to work. Yeah, Mom, I'm glad you're retired too. I keep thinking that every time I read about this stuff. That's one less thing I have to worry about on the front lines, on the close, family things. But anyway, yeah, and I know I heard that New York's looking for people from everywhere. They're just what a mess there. There we go. Beth saying she's born and raised on Long Island and moved to New Hampshire to a homestead. Would take more than a letter from the governor to get her to return. I always tell people, they say, I lived in upstate New York for many years, and they ask if I was from the city or went to the city. I only went to New York City when they paid me, literally. I know. Oh, man. Oh, Bill, yeah, I hear you about that. When we were traveling, my one of my granddaughters had some allergies, and she was coughing. Her mother got her cough syrup, saying, "You are not going around coughing." And that's before it got as bad as it is now, even. So, let's see. Oh, Brenda's working on downsizing. That's always a challenging project. Um, and waiting for unemployment to kick in. She worked on the van. Yeah, that's that. A lot of people are eligible for unemployment, or I know I heard they're struggling waiting right now with slow processing times because so many applications all hit at once. So Howard, hello in Tennessee. Okay, all right. So I had a question too from let's see. Here we go. Wandering Woman 89. Uh, and let's say, yes, I do know your name, but I'll leave it up to you if you want to say it publicly. this was an there's a this was actually an Instagram comment or posted on Instagram, and I mentioned it before, but I'm more active on Instagram than any other social media. I'm on Facebook. I have a public page there, but I don't go there too often, so sometimes I don't see stuff right away. And I have a Twitter account, and I never go there except for very rarely. But I use the wonders of software. I can post to a bunch of places and never actually go to any of them. I use an app that lets me post across the board, so I don't actually see them. But anyway, the question, I keep thinking about wanting to start my own YouTube vlog, but I feel uncomfortable in front of the camera. I feel silly, like I'm talking to myself. How did you overcome that? See you Tuesday. So, all right, we will dive into that. Let me check the comments one more time before we do. Make sure I'm not. Oh, Doug's got to go and grab some dinner. But thanks for joining us, Doug, and hope you continue to see some improvements there. There we go. Okay, Lauren's admitting that's hers. Okay. I didn't want to rat you out if you were trying to be on the down low or something, but oh, no. And Noreen's mentioned she's glad she's not working in the nursing field anymore either. You know, I worked in as an EMT for 5 years and saw all kinds of things and well, I'm not sad that that would be terrifying, honestly, to be out there on the front lines doing healthcare or anything else where you're front line with people right now. So let's see. Deborah says Lauren's a woman of many names. There you go. I was just proud of myself for keeping it right. So no one who without out, yeah. All right. Lauren's asking about starting a YouTube vlog. Again, feels uncomfortable in front of the camera. All right. Here's my experience. It's not universal, but my anecdotal experience for myself and a lot of other people I've talked to, and people I've tried to get to interview for at different points for videos. Most adults, I think, find it uncomfortable to be in front of a video camera. It's just unnerving and intimidating. It just puts us, it's kind of freaky. And I think a lot of that, to be, is kind of a fear of embarrassing ourselves, like we're going to do something that's permanently preserved on video that was ungracious or embarrassing or whatever. Here's the flip side of that. My granddaughters are completely comfortable in front of a camera, even the 2-year-old. The other day, the 2-year-old was like, I was grabbing a quick video of her playing, and I no sooner stopped than because she saw the cell phone, she knew what I was doing. She says, I want to see. And so she wanted to see it. So they're native to this technology. So they want to see this stuff. They're so used to seeing themselves on video. They don't think anything of it. But us adults who had none of this growing up or had like maybe somebody in the family had a camcorder that, we're just not used to seeing it. And so it's kind of intimidating and unnerving. Let me share a little bit of my story. I'll check a couple. Let's see. By the way, Guy Martin is saying this is a good question. Bill saying RW for president. There we go. I don't think I can handle it. Oh. Okay, and Noreen's noting too that she's seen some channels that never show their faces, but it worked well for them. Humorously, I do sometimes joke that if I was starting over today, I would do a vid channel where I never showed my face because then I wouldn't be like a micro celebrity. But I didn't do that, and it's all right. So let me tell you a little about my story. Then I'll give some things I think are specific suggestions for as far as how to get over that for starting a YouTube channel. I used to have terrible stage fright. I mean, just terrible. And that lasted basically until I became a minister many years ago. And I spent a lot of time publicly speaking to different groups. And sometimes I used to do what in our circles is called pulpit supply, and I'd travel around to different churches and speak. So it wasn't even always a group of people I knew. I was often speaking to people I did not know or had never met before. So that helped me get over it with some time. But even after becoming accustomed to speaking publicly, so that didn't bother me much anymore. Uh, it was still weird to hear my voice on audio tape. Yes, we had tapes back then still. It took time to use that because I used to always try and listen to whenever it was recorded. I try and get a copy of the tape so I could review it and kind of see how I did and what I could improve and everything. Um, so I moved into video after writing and being in writing and photography as a journalist and as a freelancer. But I was shooting video and editing video professionally before I started making my own videos. So I knew how it all worked. The first time I stepped in front of a camera to make a YouTube video, I was I was in Ehrenberg, Arizona, and it was an ancient video. If you go way back to the early days of my channel, one of my early videos was "Winter Rain in the Arizona Desert," I think it was titled. So I uh, I went over there and I was walking around and filming some how the vegetation was turning green and perking up and there was some water in some of the washes. And so I wanted to do a speaking segment. So I was near a power pole, big tower for utility lines to run through there. And I wrapped the camera around and got all set, turned it on, went and opened my mouth. I knew exactly what I wanted to say. Opened my mouth and nothing came out. I mean, it was literally it was the funniest thing. And I'm like, this is so ridiculous because I've been shooting video for other people. I've been editing it. I know how to fix if I make a mistake. It's no big deal. I can redo it if I don't like it. I mean, there was nothing to be afraid of. And the first time I opened my mouth, I literally couldn't even speak. It was just that terrifying. So, and that surprises people. I tell them that story because now they see me online. I just turn on a camera and start talking. One of my friends or something has a camera going and they get me on it and I just start talking. It doesn't even faze me, but it took a long time to get there. I've been, this is like, I don't know, 3 or 4 years later now. So I'm quite comfortable with it. So, but the specific question then was, how do you overcome feeling uncomfortable in front of a camera? So my first suggestion, and this might be uh, maybe the single thing that helps you most initially, and I would say don't think of it as a camera. Just think of it like you're doing a FaceTime chat or a Skype call with one of your friends. And that helps you approach it. You want to talk friendly to people. You don't want to be like stiff and formal. So that helps if you think you're just talking to one of your friends instead of potentially hundreds or thousands or millions of people. You're just talking to your friend, and we're all used to using a phone, or most of us at least are used to using a phone for a video call on FaceTime or Skype. So if we're used to doing that, if we think about it that way, that takes a lot of the pressure off, and you just talk. Then and you're more likely to sound like you, and to use your own words and your own style of speech and things, because you're just talking to a friend and showing a friend what you would, what you might show them on Skype or on FaceTime. My youngest son bought a house a while ago while I was still in Nevada, and I called him up on FaceTime, and he gave me a tour of the place while he was painting on FaceTime. That's just, yeah, right. And the granddaughters the same way. I'll call them up when I'm not here and say, how's it going or whatever. Is there snow there? Is it cold? And they'll run over to the window and show me the snow outside. And so if you think about it that way, I think it takes a lot of the pressure off. Oh, Deborah's sharing a link there to that video. Thank you, Deborah. I didn't plan ahead on that one. Okay, so don't think about it as just a video call with a friend. Second, just do it a lot. And then do it some more. Video is free these days, which is fantastic. It wasn't so many years ago you had to pay for film or for tapes, and so it could get expensive to have to practice. And these days it's free, it's digital. If you don't like it, delete it and do it again. So just practice different things, and both of you talking and of different showing different things, and then watch it and see how it looks, and have fun while you're doing it. Start with your smartphone is my third suggestion. You already have it in all probability. Just about everyone does these days. Most modern smartphones are more than adequate for YouTube videos. I actually, the smartphone is not my only camera, but I do use it frequently, and if no other reason, I've always got it on me. So most of the time they're going to do a fine job with video. It's easy to shoot, and it's also easy to review footage and share stuff, which is important too. Later on, you may want to, after you get used to it and you start getting proficient there, you may want to use apps to provide more control. I use like Moment and Filmic Pro and stuff. They're inexpensive, and they give you some more adjustments you can make, but you don't need to worry about that right away. That's just later on, if you want to start tweaking things more. And you can even invest in dedicated cameras. That gets expensive really quickly. A modern smartphone, I have the newest iPhone after several years with a really outdated phone, uh, and that thing outperforms any of the several $100 cameras you're going to buy these days. So you're going to have to spend a good bit of money to get something that does better than what you can do with a modern iPhone or Android phone. Um, and then when you do want to move from there, though, even if you're sticking with a smartphone, you can make a big step up just investing in an inexpensive light, sort of like this one here. This is by Aputure, Aputure. Um, that and a mic. Those things will make a big difference. You use a little tripod like this Joby Gorilla Pod. Those are handy for a lot of stuff. You can use it to, you can like hold on to it here. I'll show you. So you have your camera on there, and you can walk around. Whoop, get back backwards here on the. Okay, so you can hold it, you have your phone on here, and you can walk around and talk that way. It makes it a lot easier to film. You can also put it down on a table or on a fence, wrap it around a fence post to film. So that's really handy as well. So those are some small things you can do. Um, let's see. After that, after your smartphone, self critique. Put it, watch what you're doing, but be nice to yourself. It takes a lot. It really takes time and practice to get to improve. Like anything else we do in life, it takes time and practice. So be nice to yourself, but self critique and look at it. What do you like? What do you not like? Next, you can watch other people on video whose style you like, and what are they doing or not doing that you enjoy. I used to do this when I was doing a lot of public speaking. I'd listen to people in similar genres and try and analyze what I liked that they did and what I did not like that they did. Then I try and implement that stuff. Um, let's see. Okay, and I got to mention story, and even a lot of us pros and even like big time pros are struggle with using story reliably. But if you practice integrating story into your videos, it makes stronger videos. And basically, what is the point of the video? So even if you're doing a vlog and showing your day in the life, if you can stitch it together into a story of some sort, and so that at the end of it, viewers know why they watch the video, the payoff, if you will, or the point of the video, that makes it a stronger video and keeps people watching better, longer, which is something you always want with YouTube. Um, if you, any of you, a lot of you probably saw Deborah's most recent video, and she did this really well. She had a showed her grandmother's ruby ring and used that as to illustrate her talk about change and tied it in. So that's an example of using story to tie things together and keep viewers engaged. And I know it's not specifically to film or specific to being on video yourself, but if you keep that in mind, it also gives you an idea of why you're doing what you're doing. And then practicing editing, and this is actually, even though this is on the back end when you're done, this is actually going to help you in terms of making videos as well. Because as you watch YouTube videos about editing uh, and critique other videos to understand what you like or don't like, and practice that editing, you can play around with arranging your clips in a different way, or using different music, or using different sound effects, or things that can help you. Um, uh, as you get used to doing the editing, it helps you when you're actually planning a shot or filming, if you know what it's going to look like when you're editing, and so that actually really helps a lot. Um, and then you can publish videos on YouTube as private or unlisted or as public. And if you publish unlisted, you get a link and you can share that link with people. I do this on Patreon when I do share exclusive videos for patrons, and I just share the link there. But you can do that and share it with friends or family and ask for feedback, hopefully nicely, but they can give you feedback. Yeah, so I mean, but if you, I think these are things that help you get going and help get over some of that concern about how to make this all happen and how to get in front of a camera without. And bottom line is that just doing it over and over and over again, and looking at the results and doing it again and looking at the results, and you'll find that it gets easier and easier to get in front of the camera. And remember, you can always edit it. you can redo the shot altogether, or you can cut out parts that were mistakes, and it's pretty painless to do that once you get the hang of it. And so it's like there's nothing you're gonna do on video that you can't undo by just redoing a shot or editing. So, all right, hope that is helpful. Let's see. Sarah was noting. Let's see, just do it. Talk to yourself. Talking to yourself is fun once you get used to it. Put the camera in start, and yeah, you really do get used to it. Those are some pointers that hopefully will be, they're based on my experience. Hopefully they'll be helpful, but yeah, ultimately it comes down to just doing it, and let's see. Here we go. Beth says I've got the fireside chats already. That's kind of how I think about these things too. Is like a fireside chat. So, oh, guys mentioning cue cards can help. That is 100% true. And I actually have notes like tonight, but it's not sure. There we go. And a lot of times I'll just have my little notebook and I'll write some notes on that if I just have a few. But I had a little more detailed notes tonight. So it depends on how many notes I'm using. Usually I'll use, card stock like this because it's just like you can pick it. If it's outside or something, you can kind of hold on to it. And that's the best I found for that. Sometimes I'll use my iPhone or something, and just have notes on there, and I can scroll through and look at them in between. Because if I'm filming with the iPhone, I can't do that, but I do that sometimes as well. Okay. Oh, Sarah's saying a good advice. Hopefully it's helpful. That's the stuff that kind of was my process, things that I've learned. Um, Bill says, believe in yourself and you can do anything. And that's, yeah, exactly. If you can do it. I promise. I mean, my granddaughters surprise me sometimes with what they pull off when they get their hands on an iPhone. So, with practice, you definitely can get the hang of it and continue to build a style of what you want to do. Sarah saying I use my iPhone for almost all my YouTube stuff. It works great. That was one of the things with the when I upgraded this one, I held off on purpose till the 11s came out because I was reading good stuff about the cameras, and yeah, I've been really impressed with what it does. And I get decent stuff with my 6S Plus I used to have, but this one stepped it up even more. So with each new generation of cameras, they're just getting better and better, and it will work for the one. You can do a YouTube channel 100% with an iPhone or a good Android smartphone. It's just some people eventually want to have greater control and stuff. But you definitely do not have to do that. You can have a totally successful channel just with using a smartphone. Deborah's sharing my Amazon link. Yeah, guys, if you're looking to buy anything on Amazon, there's that actually link is actually in the description too. You can click on it. That just helps. It doesn't cost you anything extra, and it is a big help if you're we get a small percentage. Basically, it's kind of like an average around 4%. Some are a little higher, some lower, and it doesn't have to be anything you specifically clicked in the video description. Just that link, and anything you buy within 24 hours, you get a commission. Any YouTube creator or any Amazon affiliate will get a commission on that. So, okay, the selfie stick. This is right in front of my face. You can't see me. This is a Gorilla Pod. I don't know if I can show you that. It's by Joby, Joby. That's not showing too good. But it's a Joby Gorilla Pod. They have like 3 different sizes, I think. This is the middle one. This will handle 1 gram, and then there's one that's 3 or 5 grams. There might even be 4 of them. I think it goes up to 5 grams for bigger cameras. This is more than adequate for a smartphone or something. I just have a light on it now. And there's also a lighter one that I think is 325 kilograms or something, which is fine for a smartphone. I went with this one this time because I had the lighter one before and I eventually broke it, and it wasn't as strong. So this one takes the weight a little better if I do put another camera on it or something. But this one, by the way, is around $50. The smaller one I think is 30 or 35, and they are a little more expensive for the bigger ones. But if you just you're using a smartphone on it or a GoPro, like I actually have the it's the DJI Osmo Action, but if you're using one of them, something like that, even the smaller one is fine, and you're in the $30 to $50 neighborhood, and they're really cool because you can set them up. You can use a selfie stick. You can also use them as, a tripod, and the legs being adjustable, you can put them on. There we go. Sometimes when it's not on even surfaces, and you can also wrap them. They're flexible, so you can wrap them around stuff like a tree limb or a fence post or whatever. And if you saw the video I did, a day in the life, self-isolating in a van, a day in the life, and I showed a lot of footage around the park I was at while I was walking, and that's how I got the shots where you saw me walking. Was I had this thing right here with it? We're using the Osmo Action on that one, and I just put it on a fence post or a railing or a fence post or whatever, and to get those shots on the ground to get those shots. So, there in the link, if you look in the video description afterwards, there's a link about there's a to kit.com, I think, and it shows gear we recommend or something. And if you click on that, I believe that's on there. So they should be able to see that there. Oh, Deborah's a step ahead of me here. That's the link you're looking for right there. kit.co/Robert Witham/camera-gear. That's in the video description, so you can click on that, and that'll get you there. So, oh yeah, Noreen's sharing the Patreon link. That's Patreon's a huge help to a lot of us independent creators. Advertising is terrible, and I know a few channels that actually they use Patreon and they don't use advertising. So, and I would not be opposed to doing that someday if I had enough patrons to just get rid of the advertising. So, okay, Lauren says, "Wow, Robert, that is all wonderful advice. You offered some really thoughtful and detailed information. I feel a lot more confident already. That's a good deal. That's what we're aiming for." And Lauren, hit me up. Show my email up here, but if you can, I think that's in the video description. But anyways, that's my email. If you want to email me, Lauren, if you have any questions, I'll try and help you out as best I can. Um, Oh, here we go. Lauren saying, thanks for answering my question. I really appreciate it. I will definitely be watching this video over again to reference your suggestions. There you go. And yeah, if you email me, Lauren, I can actually send you my notes. That might help you as well. So, there you go. Beth's clarifying the fireside chats in response to Bill's RW for president. Yeah. Okay, here Renee's asking. Right, I've been staying home now for 2 weeks. How do you guys that are alone so much most of the time keep your spirits up? Yeah, and anybody else that's on here, feel free to jump in and weigh in on that question and share what you're doing. For me, I work a lot. My freelance work is slow right now, but um, but I always have projects I'm working on. I'm wrapping up the next issue of Meanderings Magazine, which will be coming out soon. Um, Got some other projects I'm working on. Hopefully, a new book before too long. You can check those out. My current book's out on my website there. I have some updates to an online course I have. That's Nomad Lifestyle 101, which is just designed to pack as much helpful, useful information for anybody that's a new nomad or is thinking about being a nomad into one place. And it's a library you can come back to over and over and over again and watch whatever parts you want. So I'm working on some updates to that. So I stay busy with that, and then I try and get out. I try and get out once to several times a day for a walk with somewhere where nobody's around. That just depends on the day what I can pull off. But yeah, that's kind of, and I see family a little bit, not much. I keep a safe distance when I do. So that's kind of what I do. Stay in touch with friends via phone calls, text messages, and Facebook. I do that a lot. I'm trying to be more intentional these days about checking in with family and friends. And so those are all the things I do, but then everybody else can weigh in with what they're doing. Sarah saying she loves her Joe, but yeah, they're really pretty fantastic. I haven't seen anything that I like better for a lot of all around stuff. I use it a lot. I use it a lot. I have a big tripod too, but this is the one I use 90+% of the time probably. There you go. Noreen saying it was nice to see some people when she did a quick trip to the store. Okay. Deborah put up a link to my self-isolating video. So if you haven't seen that yet, that was kind of a fun video. Just it was a mix of sharing what my day looks like. I get asked about that periodically, so I actually did a day in the life. This is my day, and I think you'll enjoy it. Check it out. So, Bill, thanks for joining us. Enjoy your dinner. Sarah saying she thought about Patreon, but her channel's too microscopic right now. We actually started that back when we were doing Two Meander, and we did it based on requests from our viewers. And so then when we shut down Two Meander, Deborah opened up her own Patreon account, and I switched that one over from Two Meander to my own. Guy says he finds good music and keeping busy. That's just keeping spirits up. Let's see. The Egg and I, lots of reading, work, yoga, and walks. Yeah, exactly. Okay, and Deborah sharing that link to the courses again. So if you want to check those out, and I'm going to be running out right now. It's a one-time payment that's lifetime, and I am going to be rolling out some installment thing. We pay in a few different payments very soon. So if you don't have the money for the whole thing right now, but you want to do slower, that'll be coming out real soon too. So. And Sarah is saying she enjoys makes more videos and enjoys her time alone so much. So being alone doesn't bother me much. Yeah, I'm really not bothered by it personally, but because I'm used to it because I hole up and work a lot, then go for a walk or stuff. So I'll see friends sometimes, but I spend a lot of time alone anyway. So it's just not. The big thing for me is not self isolating. It's having a little bit of a restriction on not self isolating, more psychological there. So. Deborah's back to writing again finally. Yeah, and she does. We have a video coming up from her. Not a video, a story, an original short story in the next issue of Meanderings that she and her writing partner Angelique put together. So looking forward to sharing that with everyone. And yeah, that magazine is kind of it's a loss leader. Full color publishing is expensive, so um, I I can't get the magazines out as cheap as I'd like. I still make almost nothing on them. But if it ever gets bigger, then it might actually make a little bit of money. But everybody that does get their hands on a copy absolutely loves it and raves about it. So if you haven't checked it out, you may head over to meanderingsmagazine.com and you can see some of what it's about. You can get them in PDF downloads, or you can get them as Kindles from on Amazon as a Kindle file. You can get it the print from Amazon, or you can get a subscription, which I have available. And you do save some money if you want to go with a subscription. So as that, let's see, Sarah's working on walking and exercise and meditation. Oh yeah, and my mother's been quilting. I should have snagged a few of those pictures, Mom. Show off what you've been up to. So I didn't plan ahead well enough. So yeah, she's been sending pictures to the family of all the stuff projects she's been working on. There's another one, stuff like quilting and stuff it's an awful lot of work that you never make your money back on that. But oh, my father says he's got a guitar close by and always does. Never be bored with that. So, yeah, and I sometimes tell people, by the way, speaking of my folks, people, don't you get bored hanging out in the van or being alone and out in the wilderness? And no, I literally do not get bored ever. And tongue in cheek, I blame my mother for that because we were kids growing up. Anytime we said, Mom, I'm bored, or we're bored, her standard response was, go outside and play, or I'm going to find some chores for you to do. It's not my job to entertain you. So, so true story. And the bottom line is we learn to entertain ourselves, and I have no problem. My problem is not bored. My problem is finding enough time to do the stuff I'm trying to do. I have too many projects on my plate, and I'm continually reevaluating, saying, what should I cut? Because I just have too much going on. So Deborah was nice enough to share a link to my father's website here if you want to check it out more. He actually has my father's minister. He's also a musician. Come from a family of musicians, and I cannot carry a note in a wheelbarrow even. So he has some CDs and does a lot of gospel music and country gospel. So if you want to check that out, it's jwitham.com. You may find some of that interesting. He's also got his links on his website, but he's on Apple Music and Spotify and Pandora and I think some other places, so you can find him there as well. I know Steven, New Nomadic, who's on here for, he's told me he's heard my father's music on there, so check them out. So Okay, Sarah's saying cool. They're on Kindle, advanced too small for print magazines. Yeah, definitely, and I hear that from a lot of people. Um, and I don't blame you. I have to be very careful about my books and magazines I can carry as well. But yeah, they're available on Kindle. And if you use Kindle or you have a Kindle account, Amazon and Kindle account, that you use Kindle on your phone or your computer, that's like a really easy way to get it digital. And if you just prefer a PDF, you can get that as well. So. Lauren says that's her mother's answer too. You get out and play, or not my job to entertain you. So, oh, look at Beth is a quilter here too. So, that's I love some of that. Actually, I got a it's covered up now with extra blankets. I got a quilt on my bed that my mother made that matches these cool curtains she made, but I can't show it to you right now because it's been cold at night. So I have like 5 layers on the bed. So uh, normally it's on top, but okay, Johnette is hibernating in the country surrounded by forest and meadow. That sounds good. Hard of hearing and avoid large groups. Love to read and look forward to new videos. Not a nomad. You love camping and road trips. Yeah. So yeah, that's I totally hear that. I have a hearing loss as well, and that makes it difficult on a good day to be around group. And that's one of the reasons I do spend a lot of time alone. It's frustratingly difficult to be in groups and so I just can't hear what's going on anyway. So, but yeah, I just have always loved, even going back to childhood, spending out time in nature. So that's just not a new thing. And road trips and camping, yeah, always been there. So. Okay, Sarah's saying her parents sent her outside too. So yeah, there was no we didn't have the same level of video games and TVs and stuff. It's just go outside and play. Go play in traffic. Right? So there you go. My father says I can carry a note, I just can't unload it. That too. So, um, yeah, Deborah's mentioning my books are on Amazon in digital form too, so you can find them there. The books are available in actually only my most recent. I should have had it out so I could show you. Only my most recent How to Be a Successful 21st Century Nomad is in print. Some of the others were in print in the past, but I updated them and made them available again in an updated digital Kindle form, but I didn't update the paperback. But the newest one is available in both, and the rest are available in um, both print. The rest are available for Kindle, and you can also get them as PDFs. Let's see here. You head to and you can get that on my website. You'll actually find a list of where all the books and where you can get them in the different formats. So. All right, so we've been going here for a little while, I think. Yeah, we're past an hour, so all right. Oh yeah, sir. Don't come back till dark. That sounds right too. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. All right. Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and wind this down. I got everybody's questions answered. If you have questions you want me to tackle in the next one, I mean, obviously I'll do them real time too, as best I can as we're going. But if you have something you specifically would like to see me address in an upcoming live chat, go ahead and leave a comment on this video below once we're done. Or shoot me an email if you want. That works too. Um, you can message me on Instagram or Facebook. Again, Facebook I'm a little slow getting to, but that's one of those things I've had to pare back on social media because it's just a time sink. But and so, anyways, you can message me and try and address those in an upcoming video. But yeah, it's been great chatting with you. I hope you all enjoyed this new software and hardware I'm using that let me do some different things. I hope to do even more different things in upcoming live chats. So this is kind of a just a for first try. So I'll be doing a little more in the future. But yeah, definitely let me know what you like to hear, and maybe we'll try doing more than one per week since it's travel's pretty limited. So if you're watching this after the fact and you think that's a good idea, like several other people did, let me know in the comments. And I'm always open to suggestions on when's a good time. I'm gonna stick to Tuesdays at 5 Pacific, 8 Eastern for these. But if a lot of people would prefer one at a different time, that's great. So, oh my gosh, here, hold on, we got a huge report. Thank you to Lauren. Yeah, get that up there. Super chat donation. Thank you, Lauren. I appreciate that. Lauren's has to go now. Really appreciate how positive you're staying through all this. Today has been a struggle for me. Thanks for the chat, Robert. Take care. Well, Lauren, I hope this um, helps after a struggle. And sorry to hear that. So many people are going through such tough times right now, and that's one thing I thought was bringing back the live chat was to be a kind of a virtual opportunity for us all to get together and socialize a little bit in a safe way, not passing any coronavirus germs through the internet. So, nice, safe way to get everybody together. But thank you again for that, and again, hit me up by email with any, if you want some more. I'm glad to provide a little more feedback on the video stuff, or if there's any other way I can be a support right now. So yeah, thanks everybody for joining. Oh, there we go. Stick Mom's comment up there. So, and yeah, Deborah said, don't forget to hit the thumbs up before you leave. If you haven't subscribed already, please consider subscribing. That really helps out and lifts my spirits to see people actually want to watch the stuff when the subscriber count goes up. So, all right, thanks everybody. We will see you for sure next Tuesday evening, possibly sometime before that, but I'll put it on social media and on a YouTube community post, if so you know it's coming. Thanks for joining me, everybody. We'll catch you next time.